All right, with this West 2 Facebook Live update, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi, fresh in off of a cut-in over there, and we're jumping on Facebook Live to kind of give everybody a quick little heads up of what's rolling in off of the Gulf of Mexico. Let me show you the wide perspective here. You'll see an impressive line of thunderstorms now setting up just west of the Florida Peninsula, and that is what is going to be rolling on in here to Central Florida as we go through the next 6 to 8 hours. So we want to kind of keep everybody up to speed on that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So there's a perspective of what the satellite enhancement of the clouds look like. Let me give you a little different perspective here with the clouds and the radar. And as you can see right there, there's a look now at Daytona Beach over towards Tallahassee. Nasty line of thunderstorms now just to the west there of Ocala. That line now about 110 miles due west, I should say, of Interstate 75, and it's bearing down on Central Florida here fairly quickly. It's warm, it's humid, and that's been allowing for a tremendous amount of heat energy to pile on up out ahead of our complex of storms. And because of that, we have seen on the Tampa Bay radar a very, very impressive line of storms now that has been growing and building, a tremendous amount of lightning. The entire line for now has severe thunderstorm warnings along that line, and that is likely to translate eastward right here into Central Florida as we get deeper into the evening hours. Let's go and take a look now at a couple different parameters. Still pretty good ways away from the radar over there in the Tampa Bay area, but as we take a look now, trying to gauge some of the winds here for you, just to kind of give you a little bit of perspective here. Let's see what we're coming up with here. There's, now remember, we're a long way out, so 45, 55 miles an hour for now. We'll get a truer perspective of this as it continues to get closer to the coast here over the next hour or two. But you can also see what's going on with the radar, that we do have some other showers beginning to pop on up. And in fact, I'm going to switch it on over to our local radar here, kind of give you a better perspective. Leesburg is in the house. Don't think it'll be bad. Jennifer Lynn, the wind is going to be fierce as that line comes across, but let's hope that you're right. Kimmy Smith, good to have you. Suzanne Waddle Russell, thanks for popping on in, and appreciate you guys sharing this Facebook Live feed to your loved ones there, as we're going to try to reach a lot of folks and kind of keep everybody in the know. Hey, just a quick note here. A lot of times we lose power during these type of events, but just remember, you may lose your cable. But if that cell tower is still up and operating, you'll be able to check out what's going on with the weather right here on Facebook Live. One way or the other, we'll be on Facebook Live, whether it's a live broadcast covering something more than a severe thunderstorm, or just me cutting on in just to make sure you guys know what's going on. So here's the bottom line. Let's take a look now at the timing of this cluster of storms. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be pretty impressive here. So you'll pop in here in a second. It's loading on in. So just give it a moment here. And there you go. There's 9 o'clock. And you can see how that line is getting awfully close to Dunellen, 9:30, 10 in and around Dunellen. And then by 10, 10:30, 11, plowing through Ocala. We're going to walk you through this now nice and slowly here, as we want to make sure that everybody is on top of the timing of these storms. And we'll go county by county here in a second. I'll show you some of the impacts that I am expecting here as we go through the overnight time frame. But I want to walk you through Futurecast here first. It's been pretty consistent here from model run to model run here over the last 12 to 24 hours. So we do like that. Amanda Gatesford, good to have you. Terry, Cheryl Negrani, all in the house. So there's a look now. There's 11:30, 12, approaching Eustis, Lady Lake, Umatilla, no stranger to severe weather. There's 11:30 over Leesburg, Palm Coast, just west of DeLand. By the time we get to 12 o'clock, DeLand, west side of Orlando, and then building towards Orlando itself, 12:30. There's 1 o'clock now through Orlando, Sanford, Daytona Beach, and then looking at thing really ramps up there just a little bit as it gets through eastern Orange County, Seminole County, on into northern Brevard County, and St. Cloud. Boy, I tell you what, 1:30 in the morning, you're going to feel that wind machine coming on through for sure. This is going to be a very big and strong wind maker. There's absolutely no doubt about that. We got a bunch of new folks. Brittany, Sammy, Emily, Sharon, thanks for popping in, guys. Just giving everybody a quick update. I do have another live cut in here at 7:23. I will run over to the chroma key and then come back and continue this Facebook Live here, and at least go through 8 o'clock, if not later than that. There's 2 a.m. for my friends in Brevard County. There's Titusville, there's Melbourne, there's New Smyrna Beach. Nasty line of storms kind of comes on through, and then it's out by daybreak tomorrow morning, 6:37. Trying to get the youngsters to the bus stops. It's done and it is over. Rainfall amounts, fast mover now. So the amounts have lowered here since earlier in the day, quarter to maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain. That's what we're looking at here potentially right now. Let's take a look at that storm timeline here one more time for you guys. And I got a whole bunch of other graphics I want to pop in here and kind of break things down even better for you guys. Claremont, a lot of wind at the very least. Stevie Rogers, Gimme, Valesky, hello to you. Already windy. I tell you what, the wind gusts today, folks, have been unbelievable. We've had tropical storm force wind gusts, and the storm system still to the west. Ocala, the Villages, Palm Coast. There's your timeline, 9 p.m. to about 1 a.m. And then we shoot back towards Sanford, Orlando, New Smyrna Beach from 11 to 3. And then from about 1 o'clock in the morning to 4, 5 at the latest in Brevard County. That's going to be an issue for you guys. Dogs are going to freak out tonight. They don't like loud noises like thunder. So yes, that's going to be an issue. Don't forget to put maybe your thunder jacket on your pooch there. So let's take a look now at the tornado probability here. What's the chances of a tornado occurring where you live? Well, in the brown, it's a 5% chance. In the green, as you can see right there, it is a 2% chance for a tornado to occur along that squall line as it moves on through. The wind risk is much higher. You guys, if you haven't heard, by the way, scaffolding has fallen down on the 408 right near I-4 in downtown due to today's high winds, and that has shut down that portion of the highway there. So we're trying to avoid that. The 408 is down, shut down there near I-4. So again, a lot of big machinery, so to speak, has been impacted by today's big wind machine. A 15% chance area-wide of some strong damaging winds. That's may seem low, but it's not every day that we have that high of a wind threat for us here. So there you go. All right, severe impacts from Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties. The impact times are really, for me, the only things that are changing here. Everything else is going to be pretty much the same. Biggest threat, strong straight line winds. Isolated tornadoes, 5% in this corridor, a little bit lower, back towards the eastern side of the peninsula. Dr. Phillips here, thanks for the updates. You got it, Brad. Hope Joseph, yep, it's going to be a lot of wind. And if you thought the wind was strong today, wait till this line comes through. I'm going to go back to that radar here for you guys in a second. For those of you that are now in our Facebook Live feed, one of the things I always preach to folks that pop in, especially in these big events, is if you don't mind sharing the feed tonight, because the more people that see this feed on their timelines because of you sharing it to their page, the more people we can put in the weather know and just kind of get everybody prepared for what could be coming through, at the very least, some significant wind. All right, so Palm Coast for you, 11 to 12. Daytona Beach, 12 to 1, maybe a little bit later there in eastern Orange County. Same threat here, straight line damaging winds. Other concerns, still the risk for some isolated tornadoes, frequent lightning, and brief, very heavy rain. As this line is coming through fairly quickly, the heavy rain will be in and out quite quickly here. So that's good news and it's bad news. If you have to drive at a certain time and you're calling it, obviously it's not pleasurable. Let's take a look now at the severe impacts for Osceola and Brevard counties here, Kissimmee, Kenansville, Melbourne, and Titusville. There you go. Impact time just a little bit later. The threat, again, is still strong damaging winds. Other concerns, isolated tornadoes. Thank you, Jess. Louie, good to have you. Eileen, John, Hanson, Lake County. You must have just missed it. I'll get back to that here in 1 second. So there you go. Isolated tornadoes, still a concern here for Brevard County as this one is making its beeline to move off the coast by daybreak tomorrow morning. Here it is again for Lake County. Actually, that's Orange County, I-4, 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Here's a look now at Ocala, the Villages, Bushnell, Leesburg, Claremont. From Lake to Sumter to Marion, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. and then everything is east of you well before sunup, So again, can't stress this enough. The biggest concern, the winds. Strong winds, that's a lot. We've already had that today, and the line hasn't got here. Severe winds, more than likely we're going to get that, as we showed you on the radar. That whole line of storms is under a severe thunderstorm warning because of strong damaging winds. Let's go back to that radar here and kind of show everybody what's going on. We're shooting this with the Tampa Bay radar. When you run radar, you always want to pick the radar that's closest to where the intense weather is. And notice what's going on here. This is going to look weird, but this is the line of storms. The entire line of storms from Georgia into the Panhandle has been highlighted in a severe thunderstorm warning. So as this line here translates to the east, guess what's going to happen? New warnings are going to start popping up, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the line as it makes landfall here along the west coast. When there is no friction and then all of a sudden the line of storms is hitting over land, that creates friction. Sometimes you can get some twisting and turning. Now the good news is we haven't seen that up here. So that should be a good sign, telltale sign for us that we will hopefully be okay here. But this is Florida. Some weird things happen here. We are seeing a few showers now popping up through Lake Volusia, and these things are hauling. I mean, these are developing real quickly and moving very fast from south to north. So that's going to be the other thing that we'll continue to watch here. And you can see these little blips popping up right there. That is the radar out of Melbourne. This is the radar that we use. That's our own. That's the terminal Doppler velocity product there from the airport down there at Orlando's International Airport. And then, of course, that is our radar right there. You can see it spinning and churning. You can see a little bit of that moisture there beginning to get picked up by our radar. So very fast moving. So as these storms develop, that's the other concern. Lead time, giving you heads up on what's coming your way, trying to give you as much time as humanly possible to prepare for whatever could be coming your way. So that's another thing that we're going to be watching and kind of babysitting for everybody there. But when you take a look now at the satellite presentation, folks, it's a very impressive line of thunderstorms. It's really filling in and coming together, and it is on the move. And it's going to be in and out of here very quickly as it moves from west to east. I like to take a look at the water vapor channel here real quick. Let me get all this other stuff off. Don't have the classic signature V-notch on the water vapor channel. You have a little bit of it. I'll go ahead and stop that loop right there. One of the things I like to look for is a V-shaped line of thunderstorms. So this part's not filled in, that part's not filled in, but you can see the enhancement there in the thunderstorms, and that's what's clearly coming towards the west coast. It is a strange system, Heidi, but not unusual. Winter storms produce historically a lot of wind, and you have a very strong jet stream upstairs here, and that's what's creating the dynamic today of all of that wind. And so as that main line is forced on through tonight, the winds are going to get even stronger. So that's what we're watching there. So the Tampa Bay radar showing a tremendous amount of lightning just offshore and to the west of us there. So we'll continue to monitor the trends on that. And as this gets closer to the Tampa Bay radar, we'll take a closer examination of what's going on internally, like an X-ray of that line of storms to kind of gauge what the folks there along and west of Interstate 75 are first going to be dealing with, and then what could be headed towards Marion, Sumter, and Polk counties as it continues to build back to the east. Carolyn Armstrong well said, you know it will be. That's exactly right. Jason Bear, a lot of wind in Fruitland Park, Jason, for sure. Let me show you some of these wind forecasts. That's one thing I have not shown yet, but I think it's actually a good idea to do so, is this wind forecast here. And you can see this is going to load in a second. This is 7 o'clock. Notice the purple filling in and getting stronger as that line of storms moves into Marion County. You can see the 50-mile-an-hour winds there. And then 1 a.m., kind of building south and east towards Osceola, Brevard. And again, wind speeds there on the order of, at least with this particular model, about 40 to 50 miles an hour. So no matter how you slice it, all of the models are predicting a lot of wind, and that's for sure one of the things that we're going to be dealing with. Now, tomorrow afternoon, it's interesting to note that the temperatures are going to drop. And it's going to be blustery and it's going to be cool. So just a heads up there. Marina Laws, well said. You got it, Donna. Doug, you got it. Angel Sebastian, yep, just doing my job, my friend. Uh, the 7-day forecast also quite interesting here, and I'll go back to the severe weather parameters in just a second. But let me go ahead and I'll give you this. So we're chilly Saturday morning. There's absolutely no doubt about that. 30s north and west of town, low 40s here. Low 70s Saturday afternoon, jumping up to the mid 70s on Sunday. Now, next week, interestingly enough, there is spring training camps are opening up. Pitchers and catchers reporting, and just in time for them. Look at those temperatures: 80 to 85 degrees, and just a few chances for a couple of showers there by Monday and Tuesday of next week. All right. So again, if you're just getting in, the big story for us here locally: tornado watch is in effect now for Central Florida. Northern sections, Marion and Flagler counties here. Marion and Flagler counties until midnight Friday for Palm Coast up towards Ocala. Things are going to be coming in soon for you over the next couple of hours, so we'll continue to watch that. The winds are crazy in Ocala, says Jeanette Meneses. Jeanette, they're going to get even stronger. We're likely to have some severe thunderstorm warnings for you as that line of thunderstorms works on in. All right, folks, I am about 5 minutes away from my next cut-in. You can see right there the risk for severe storms is a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. So we are expecting scattered severe storms as that line of thunderstorms pushes across Central Florida. Nikki Lopez, Lexi Gario, El Nene, good to have you. 80-degree weather will go away, at least briefly. Anyway, Deneen, light rain in Deltona. That's some of the showers here that have been popping up well in advance of this line of storms right here. A little bit of convergence up along I-4, and it shows up nicely not only on the Tampa Bay radar, which shows a very intense line of thunderstorms offshore, but when we look real close at the radar here in Central Florida, there's a look now at some of those showers that you indeed are correctly pointing on out. There's Daytona Beach, there's the land, there's New Smyrna Beach. Fast-moving showers developing here rather quickly, and we'll watch the trends on these. They do appear to be behaving themselves and not developing something into more than just fast-moving showers for the time being. Flagler is nice right now. There are a couple of showers coming at you. The main line will then come at you guys over there in Flagler as we get you into and close to the midnight hour. So that's a look at the Tampa Bay radar right there as it is coming at you there very, very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and set up my cut-in for live TV here. Just give me a second, folks, and I'll be right back at you. Let me just make sure I got this right. I got that right. That looks good. As I am multitasking now, getting ready to do a live cut-in there on West 2 News, and then also keeping you guys up to speed with a look at the radar from time to time. Christina, you're welcome. Doug, just doing my job. Francis Loyacano. Francis is getting nervous. We got you. We'll keep an eye on things. We'll know what's going to happen once this comes ashore and kind of gauge the behavior, so to speak, of these storms once they make landfall. It's the best way to look at it. Jamie Lopez, good to have you. Lori Titolevy, good to have you. Anthony Germano, Alwyn, Coolio, William Chamberlain, tropical storm. It does feel like it will. In fact, hang on a second. I'm glad you brought that point up because these are the peak wind gusts from today. This is amazing. 35 to 46 mile an hour peak wind gusts today. Unbelievable. Jacob Harper, good to have you, my man. Thank you for popping on in. Candy Fry. And for those of you that have just popped in, like Roberto Bonini, he's giving me my cue here live on Facebook. I have 3 minutes, he's saying, to my next cut-in. Again, if you're just popping on in, you know my motto, sharing is caring. The more people we can reach by sharing our Facebook Live feeds, especially when there's active weather like tonight, the more people we can put in the weather know. That's really why we do these, as a way to get to you guys when the traditional newscast is not on. And we know that you guys have busy schedules. You're parents, you have kids, they have after-school activities. Maybe you're working late and you don't get home until after the 7, 8 o'clock time frame there, and you miss the early shows. Francis, you could actually, Francis saying the weather radio won't work in her county because the Daytona transmitter is out. You could actually look for a different frequency and go ahead and get the signal by using the one that's not closest to you. It may not sound as good, but at least you'll get the warning. So all you have to do is hit the button there on your weather radio to look for a different frequency, and then you'll be in better shape. All right, I have 90 seconds, Roberto's telling me 90 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on the radar. I'm going to go do my cut-in, and then I'm going to come back. So if you want to grab a cup of coffee, a Coke, or maybe a glass of wine with a steak, and then come back and hang out with me a little longer, that'd be great. But I got to go jump on the air here and do a quick little cut-in. But I'm not signing off just yet, just FYI. Be right back. All right, Roberto, I'm coming. Yes. How you doing? Yeah. You got it. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sit there. 15 seconds. Sit there. Thank you, bro. 4, 3, 2. Just a quick update on the active weather that's moving away. Tornado watch in effect for Marion and Flagler counties now until midnight tonight. Big intense line of thunderstorms coming our way, and as it advances our way, we are expecting numerous severe thunderstorm warnings to be issued now, as it's going to be quite gusty as that line of storms moves on through. Let's take a look down at that future cast here. 10, 11 o'clock coming through Ocala. By the time we get to midnight, bearing down on Orlando, east Orlando by 1, and then moving offshore by 3. Next one, I believe, is 740. 740. 740. I'm going to have you check my battery here in just a little bit. Or if you guys in the back camera. All right, folks. Sorry about that. I am back. Just wanted to give a quick cut in for our TV viewers, not our Facebook Live viewers. A different way to get the weather updates. All right. So we were talking about this line of storms here. Let me go ahead and stop that loop. And you're going to see there's the Tampa Bay radar right there. Let's go ahead and see now what, if anything, is going on with this line of storms offshore. If there's any rotation. Doesn't appear to be. The closer this gets to us, the truer, the more accurate the radar does become. So just keep that in mind. And you see that bouncing around there. Sometimes what the Weather Service does, because we're using the Tampa Bay radar, not our own, they will go from a non-precipitation mode into a precipitation mode. So that's why you sometimes see the radar doing some funny things there, and that's clearly what's going on out there right now. That's an interesting little cell in here, but again, that's a good ways away from the coast, so we'll continue to watch that. All right, good evening to you, Angela. Eric Hunter, good to have you. Eric Hunter, do appreciate your kind words. Melissa Martin, you're welcome. Again, my next cut-in is at 7:40-ish. 7:40-ish. All right, so keep that going there. So that's it is going to hit Southwest Florida. Yes, indeed, Lori to the levee. No, I got my jacket on because I'm doing cut-ins live on TV and going back and forth between here and there to you guys and the chroma key. That's why my jacket's on. Robert Leanna, good to have you. Cindy Basta. I think my dog. Yeah, well, dogs have sensitive ears, so they can pick up on the noise that's coming from thunderstorms well in advance of us. I don't think he's picking up on that far out there, but they will certainly know it before we do. Let's see here. Aaron Craycraft is in. Jason Marlowe, good to have you. Sydney Stisser, good to have you. Pamela McCallum, good to have you. So let's go through the Futurecast model. If there's anything that I haven't shown that you might be interested in, this is your time to ask on Facebook Live because I can't do that on TV. I'm watching and concerned with really. Just I'm not worried so much about tornadoes. I'm more worried about wind, and then we've already had a scaffolding come down along the 408. For those of you that may have missed it, the 408 is now shut down in downtown Orlando because some of the I-4 Ultimate construction has come down on the 408. Let's see here, Nick Reed, good to have you there. Lisa Stambaugh, Maddie Nicole, Sue Zachman. Audio is 5 times 5. Let's see here. Check 543. Audio looks pretty good on my end here. It's about mid-level range. You guys can hear me okay, right? Usually it's better. Yeah, actually, Kyle is going to be here at 9 o'clock. So yeah, we're planning on tag teaming for sure. There's Future Cast, Leticia Gonzalez, Jerry Smith, Danielito Rios, good to have you. Janice Curry, Hepburn. When can and does sound scary, absolutely, no doubt about that. Let's see, my phone has been blowing up all day here. Yep. Let's see here. There we go. So here we go. There's 8 p.m. There's 9. There's 10. 10:30, 11 coming through Ocala. Pedro Vega, yes. Can you hear me good? All right, great, great. Again, if you are just popping in, guys know my motto, sharing is caring. The more people we can reach by you guys sharing these Facebook Live updates, the more people we can put in the weather know. Hopefully reduce some anxiety, put you at ease. And again, that's part of the reason why we do this. The other reason is because we know that sometimes you can't always catch the traditional newscast because you're away with work or a school project or work project. So again, if we do these and then you are able to watch TV, hopefully you'll come to us. Michael Johnson, loud and clear. Trees, there you go. Rich Robertson, good to have you. Pablo Massanet, Kathy Forrester. Port Orange is going to be very clear. So there's 12:30 right there. So it's getting really close to Port Orange right around that time there. Give or take an hour either side of that. He's doing better, Janice. Thank you. Appreciate that. Here we go. Let's go to, there's 12:30. There's one pretty nasty line of storms coming on through. And then, boom, look at that thing blowing up. East Orange County, Waterford Lakes, Avalon Park, Bicklow, Christmas, down towards Wedgefield, Geneva, back towards Mims, Scottsmore, getting hit pretty good right there. Let me grab this here real quick. It's probably a nurse for my dad. Hello. Good. What time are you coming tomorrow? Done deal. Love it. Thank you. See you, Janice. Bye. All right, so 1:30. There we go. Showers and storms. Eastern Orange. We got 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, Titusville, and then blowing through Melbourne, 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, and then blowing offshore. It's in and out very, very quickly. Very windy in Ocala. Anthony, why you got to be such a hater for? Rich Robertson, Forrest Chevy Callaway, Janice Kennedy, Julie Dawes. There you go. Friday looks spectacular. So let's give you the timing here one more time. Carla Dean, Oak Hill. Oak Hill is going to have a lot of wind. Tornado threat is low. Let's see here. Doug Tweedy, good to have you there, my friend. There is a look at the timing. So 9 to 1 from Ocala to Leesburg to Palm Coast. Then from 11 to 3-ish, Orlando, Winter Haven, Kissimmee, just to mention a few of you. Grace, excellent. I'm not surprised, but a lot of schools canceled after-school activities today. Jolene Cruz in Palm Bay, good to have you. Gerardo Lopez, good to have you, sir. Appreciate you popping on in. And I do appreciate you guys that are just popping on in, sharing this Facebook Live feed. The more people we can reach by giving you this critical information, the better prepared you can be for it. And we can reduce your anxieties. That's the whole key of these things. So there's your time frame there. Somebody was asking about the tornado threat. What is it at? It's low. There's Winter Haven. There's Kissimmee. There's Sanford. And again, 2% low. Hazel, I think you need to turn your volume up on your PC because most folks can hear me pretty well. Janelle Legend, New Smyrna Beach. Going to be a 2% chance for a tornado. I'll show you the timeline yet again here in a second. Sorrento is going to be there between 11 and 12. A lot of wind. For me, folks, that is going to be the biggest concern, the strong damaging wind risk. There's a 15% chance for strong damaging winds area-wide, except for maybe down towards Barefoot Bay, might be just a little bit lower at about 10%. So there you go. Now, when we take a look at the timeline, as you guys are just walking on in again, here you go. 9 p.m. to 1 a.m., 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., 1 a.m. to 5 p.m. The farther south and east you go, the later it's going to be. So there you have it. So there you go. This weekend, the weather looks good. There's not going to be any issues for speed weeks. Brian Keller, to answer your question, there's Port Orange between an 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. time frame. 45 plus, says Mr. Jay Candela. Jay, are you talking about right now, today, thus far, or are you asking me a question? Is that going to be tonight? If I had to take a shot at it, I would say the winds are going to be stronger than 45 area-wide. Oh, there you go, Cindy. You might have to go to your Facebook setting for your audio, actually. Rick Myers, Alwyn, Vanessa, Kia Louie Moon. It is now, but it won't be later, and I'll show you why. There we go. There's that squall line. 10 o'clock, Denellen. 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 through Ocala. Pedro Vega. There you go. Let's hope not. The winds upstairs are, for the most part, same direction in which the winds are at the surface. So that should reduce any risk a bit. Tuscaloosa says Tommy. There's your timing coming up for Tuscaloosa here in a second. 11:30, 12. We got another cut in here in about 7 minutes. There's midnight, the land, Palm Coast. Sanford, Orlando, 12 to about 12:30 in the morning, maybe even as late as 1 o'clock. Common Melbourne for now, but that's going to change. There's 1 o'clock. Osceola County, New Smyrna Beach. Good-looking line of storms coming on in. You can see Titusville, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Letitia, you're welcome. Val, good to have you. Morning commute's going to be fine. A little windy and cooler. But there's that line of storms as it blows through Melbourne, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then pretty good there, 3:30 over towards Barefoot Bay. Joanne Pallotta. Hopefully we won't need them. Hopefully we won't lose power. But you can see the rest of the forecast does look good. Rainfall amounts, if you're expecting a lot of rain, unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. Talking about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. So, again, we'll take any rain we can get, of course, this time of the year. It's our dry season. Severe weather impacts from Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties. Strong damaging straight line winds for me, the biggest concern. For the villages, Leesburg, Bushnell, Claremont, Lady Lake, Umatilla, Eustis, Mount Dora, just to mention a few. It is, Brandy, as you can see right there. Elaine Rodriguez, it is windy, but Elaine, it's going to get even windier overnight tonight once that line of storms moves on through, and that's what we're going to be watching and babysitting here very, very carefully. Palm Coast, Daytona Beach to land, Sanford, Orlando, Kissimmee, Kenansville. You can see the impact time just a little bit later, from 11 to 3. Biggest threat, straight line damaging winds. Other concerns, isolated tornadoes, frequent lightning, and brief heavy rain. That doesn't change for eastern Osceola and Brevard County either, although the impact time here is just a little bit later. Let's see, there's the biggest threat, straight line damaging winds. Then again, frequent lightning, brief heavy downpours. That's going to be the other element that we're going to have to watch. But again, really overall, we take a look at these impacts here, and this is what we're going to be looking at. Strong damaging winds threats high. Severe winds is going to be a medium threat. Paige, thank you, Tony, for taking the time to share this with us. Yep, you're welcome. You got Elaine. Teresa Taylor, always a pleasure to have you. Rain will start. Teresa Taylor, depends on where you live. If you're in Orlando, it's going to be between 12 and 1. If you're west of Orlando, it's sooner. If you're east of Orlando, it is going to be a little bit later. All right, give me the 1 minute warning, and then I'll head over to the key, guys. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Maria, thank you. Julie Dahl is just doing my job. Hey, Brenda, from Vanessa Harrison, by the way. So that's a look at that. Now, tomorrow, the story behind all of this action is going to be breezy and much, much cooler weather that will be settling on in as we get you through the afternoon tomorrow. In fact, you take a look at the weekend forecast. Somebody was asking me specifically about these NASCAR races. High pressure kind of builds on it. Another front kind of reinforces things over the weekend. So when we take a look at the Lucas Oil 200, 60, 65, 62. Beautiful, gorgeous weather here. Peggy Ferry, good to have you. Candy Fry, Brenda Burke, appreciate you all's kind words. And don't forget, if you have just popped in, by you sharing this Facebook Live feed to your friend's place, loved ones, relatives, cousins, nieces, boyfriend, girlfriend, the more people we can reach and put in the weather known. That's really the whole key of doing these. Stephanie Jenkins just got here. Is O'Kelly going to see some? Stephanie, certainly from a wind standpoint, I think there's a very good chance that that's going to be an issue. I think there will likely be a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings for wind, although we are going to watch this line of storms that is going to be coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico here to see what kind of an impact it has along the coast. There is a tornado warning. Check that out into Georgia. But here, along that line, it's just severe thunderstorm warning. So we think that that will sweep across and produce severe thunderstorm warnings. So we're going to have to watch the behavior of this line as it comes ashore to see if it may warrant any tornado warnings. Again, west of I-4, we have a 5% chance for tornadoes. East of I-4 tonight, we have a 2% chance for tornadoes. Low, but there. And that's the point we're trying to make. Taking a look at our WESH radar, here all of a sudden you can see how quickly showers have formed and are building up here over East Orlando. Avalon Park right there. Some pretty good showers. Screaming, and I mean absolutely screaming to the north and the east at a close to 30 to 40 miles an hour, if not even more than that. I'm about a minute away here, so let me go run to the key. I'm going to leave you guys on the radar, and then I am going to come back here and finish my Facebook Live with you guys. I'm not ending it just yet. I know that a lot of you have a lot of concerns with what may or may not be coming out through tonight. So let me jump to the key to do a live cut-in, and then I will be right back here to give you more live coverage on Facebook Live. All right, gang, be right back. Mark? Yeah. You think it takes us some weather action on the last day here.
I know. That's cool though. Action.
How far away are we?
He's at a minute 30.
You say a minute 30? Let's see.
1 minute.
1 minute. This is a hard 29 seconds here.
Yeah.
Are you still here? Oh, he doesn't do that.
I thought everything.
Oh, he wouldn't do it.
Okay. What do you need? Oh.
30 guys over.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know you will say that.
15 seconds. It's something I like this.
No, sometimes it's different. This is a wind-driven storm. So.
4, 3, 2.
All right, with this West 2 weather update on Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi, we are very closely monitoring a long line of thunderstorms here in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings along that line, and as it moves ashore, we are expecting warnings. A lot of wind out ahead of it, and we are expecting to increase as this line of storms moves on through from 11 to 12, from 12 to 1, and from 1 to 2, 3 o'clock on into the morning. We'll keep you posted all night.
Hey, Phil,
Yeah.
is there a chance you can take one, or you want to do live?
No, I want to do it live because we got radar now. Stuff's coming in. If it,
That's 8 o'clock, right?
yeah, next one's 8 o'clock. Next kind, correct. That's a 60-second, guys. All right, folks, I'm back. Sorry about that brief delay there, but duty calls, so to speak. All right, so good looking line of storms there. This is the Tampa Bay radar. So let's see. Let's see what the cross section of this looks like here. Let's do this. Let's zoom in on it. Let's kind of see what the height of this thunderstorm is. There we go. So what we're doing is taking a vertical cross section of, so there it is. That is at about 30,000 feet, where the winds, by the way, are much stronger. So the thing that we've wanted to note is 30,000 feet, you got winds coming across this way at about 80 miles an hour. You get these updrafts and downdrafts in these storms, and sometimes those stronger winds can come down to the surface. So that's one of the things that we're going to be watching as that line of storms continues to move on from these. This little red box right here, along that line is a tornado warning up towards Waycross, Georgia. Let me see if we switch it over. There is the Jacksonville radar. This is a different vantage point here, and you'll take a look at the velocity product. And they got that just out of the range. There's some very interesting little wind perturbations there. That little fella right here, let me stop this. So right in here, that looks interesting, but unfortunately, with where this storm is in the envelope of that radar, we can't clearly see what's going on up there, but that's the radar there, and that's some pretty impressive looking radar for folks up near Interstate 10. So folks in Jacksonville are going to have to be watching this line of storms very carefully as the winds. Let's see what the winds are. Let's see if we can kind of pluck some winds here real quick. Again, still pretty far away from the radar. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, too far away, not usable, not good there. So that's kind of what we're going to be dealing with right now as we do this. Take a look at that right there. There's a look at the very latest. There's that squall line. We'll go ahead and reposition this and take a look at the different perspective right here over towards Ocala. About 100 miles out now. 100 miles out is that line of storms that is going to be pointing in our direction. Carla, let him know that I'm on right now. Mallory Sharp, it's very windy in Ocala. Yeah, I saw it just did pop up on my phone. So there's a look now at the satellite and the radar. Line of showers and storms here off towards our west. That is what is going to be approaching central Florida right now. You can see there's that tornado watch. David, I'm not sure. Let's see here. No tornado watch for Volusia County. It is Marion and it is Flagler counties. Marion and Flagler counties. That's what we're dealing with right now. This is our own live EEC radar, and you can clearly see what is going on right now. We have just individual discrete showers popping up. Nothing that looks like it's developing into anything more than fast-moving showers. So I like what I'm seeing there. I feel good about that. And then we're just going to wait on the latest there from Tampa Bay radar. Watch that line of storms as it continues to pivot eastward. So let's take a look now at the overall flow of the water vapor channel. And you can see a big line of storms right in here. There's the powerful jet stream. You can kind of, if you put two and two together, there's your upper trough. And there's the biggest core of wind is coming right through here. right in there. Now we're on the southern edge of that envelope of strong winds on the periphery of high pressure. So we've had good wind today, and that wind is going to continue here as we go through the evening hours. There's the satellite, there's the radar. You can see how this plume of showers and storms has really blossomed and kind of come together here over the course of the last 6 to 8 hours into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. That's really impressive looking there. And you can see that translates to a long line of thunderstorms through a good chunk of the eastern Gulf of Mexico with eyes on central Florida. Heather, Saturday and Sunday looks great. I'll tell you what, Joni, excuse me, Tucker, you are absolutely right about that. That is a lot of wind, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. So be prepared for that. It has been a windy day for sure, Brandon. In fact, for those of you that may have missed it, wind gusts today have looked like this. We've been running 20 to 35, 40 miles an hour here at the top of the hour. And then when we take a look at the peak wind gust from today, look at Ocala, tropical storm force, 46 mile an hour winds. Look at Winter Haven, Kissimmee, Orlando, Sanford, nearly tropical storm force winds from Kissimmee up towards Daytona Beach and the land. So you're absolutely right about that wind. Those are the peak wind gusts. And tonight, when we take a look at that 12-hour forecast, we've got the alert icons there from 10 to about 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when we think the worst of the weather is going to come through central Florida and pose a threat for some wind damage. Claremont, Raymond, a lot of wind. We'll watch it. Emily West, you are most welcome. So that's going to be the concern there. Let's take a look at the RPM model, as a few of you have just popped on in. I want to show you what it looks like. There it is. There's Futurecast. 10 o'clock. There's your line of showers and storms approaching western Marion County. Working our way to 11 o'clock from Ocala into the villages, closing in on Lake County. There's a look now at 11 to 12. You can see nasty line of storms from Palm Coast towards Leesburg. As far as Celebration, for you down there in Celebration, it looks like the worst will be right around 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning. And then things will shoot east of you after that. So there you go. That's a look for you. Titusville, worst is going to be between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. And then you can see that line kind of blasting off through Melbourne once we get past about 3 o'clock. So there you go. My brother just moved to Ocala. Janet, the wind is going to be the concern, but I really think they're going to be okay. We're going to watch the behavior of that line of storms as it rolls in off the Gulf. You can see by daybreak tomorrow morning, it's done. It's over. The wind starts subsiding. Let's see here. SPC has just updated their meso discussions. We got that. Convective outlooks. Let's see right there. 2 p.m. That's not been updated yet, so we're going to wait on that. All right, so this is the severe impacts for Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties. As you can see, that threat is going to be from wind, straight line wind damage. Again, the tornado threat is low, but it is there. About 5% chance of that happening. Giselle Tanyan, just doing my job and keeping everybody informed and safe. Other concerns, frequent lightning and brief heavy rain as that line of storms continues to come on through. Katie Steidel, appreciate your kind words. Again, if you are just popping on in, my motto is sharing is caring. The more people we can reach by you sharing this Facebook Live feed, the more people we can put in the weather know and let them know what is going on before the weather gets there. And that's always the key. Hopefully also reduce any stress or anxiety you may have from severe weather as it moves through. Winds subside. Clears this in. Rich. Looking spoken like a historian there, my friend. There you go. All right, so there's the I-4 corridor. Palm Coast, 11 to 12, Daytona Beach, 12 to 1, Eastern Orlando, 12:30 to 1:30, Kenansville closer to about 3. Thank you, Emily. Yeah, I'm wearing a jacket because I am literally going from the chroma key to here to do Facebook Live. So I'm multitasking. Janice Curry Hepburn. I will hand off to Amy and Kyle. Kyle will be in about 9. Kyle and I will tag team if need be. And then we will hand off to Amy and Kyle. Kyle's spending half the time with me and half the time with Amy. Tom Perry, watching from the mountains of Northeast Tennessee, Orlando native. Tom, excellent to have you. Thanks for watching us up there. Appreciate you doing that. Ginger Snaps, Snapster. Look, there's no such thing as late on Facebook Live. You come as you wish, you do as you want. It's your show. I'm just here for the entertainment. Make sure you get what you need. And make sure you're prepared. That's why we do these Facebook Lives. You guys know that. Impact time for Eastern Osceola County and Central and Southern Brevard. Looking like this. 1 o'clock to 4, 5 at the latest. Looks a little bit quicker than later. So there you go. Straight line damaging winds, again, the biggest concern for me as I see it right now. Let me see something here. Let's see what we got here. No, that does not like that. Get rid of that. All right, so Joseph Sinopoli, good to have you. Yeah, I wish I got overtime, but that's not happening. Thanks for looking out, though, Joe. I do appreciate that. Storm impacts. Again, the wind, whether it be severe or strong, medium to high, no doubt about that. Alwyn, always a pleasure to help you guys out. And, on the northern side of the storm, that's a good point there. Rick, he wanted to see the northern side of the storm. So let's take a look at the entire storm real quick, and then we'll come back. They're about the same, Donnie. They popped up, they intensified, and now they're kind of holding their own. Bill, you got it. So yeah, they're still going strong. And on the northern side of this storm, someone was asking me, is there any snow? And there clearly is through Ohio, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, severe weather through the Carolinas, tornado watches literally from Virginia Beach, well, actually it was Virginia Beach. Now it's North Carolina, Savannah, Jacksonville. You can see those tornado watches right there. Justin Oliet, Highlands County tomorrow. Fine. Windy, breezy, and cooler. Linda Henderson. Love that. And by the way, again, Linda, I noticed that you just popped in. If you wouldn't mind sharing our Facebook Live feed. Again, the more people we can reach by folks sharing these feeds, the more people we can put in the weather know. And that's really why we do all of this stuff. We want you guys to be prepared. We want you to know what's going on. We know that sometimes you have very active lifestyles. You're not able to catch the traditional newscast, so we do these there for you. That's correct, Gene. We have had a few tornado warnings up there. Let's take a look now at the latest, kind of show you what's going on. We've got multiple severe thunderstorm warnings all up and down that line. And once this line, by the way, moves ashore, we are going to see more severe thunderstorm warnings start rolling across the peninsula. Yes, sir. Talk to me. No, do me a favor. Put 60 up there. I don't want to go too long. I don't want to interrupt people's eating too much. We did a minute on the first open-ended one, so I'd like to stick with that if I can, Micah. Micah's. Yeah, put 60 up there. And if I go a little bit over, that's okay. But I really want to, not go over eating programming if at all possible. Just to kind of keep it clean and moving and rolling along. People like their shows, and we want to make sure they can continue to watch them without being impeded too much by us. Obviously, if there's a tornado warning, then it's a whole different ball game. All right, back talking to one of my directors who's coordinating with me on this next cutting, which is coming up here in just under 5 minutes. For me, 4 minutes. Thank you, Roberto. Appreciate that. They're not screaming at me. That's correct. They are just giving me guidance as to when I need to jump over to the key. Usually when there's about a minute left, that's when I head back over to the key. Kenneth Otto, good to have you. Carol Dean, Kim, Shay Ray, Billy Fortson. I love hearing that. You're a good man. That's what this information is all about. Alerting you, first alerting you and keeping you guys in the know. And again, the key for me here, the next big critical stage is once this starts coming ashore here, west of Marion County, west of Sumter County. What is the effect? Are we upgrading from a severe thunderstorm warning? Are we sticking with a severe thunderstorm warning? That's going to be a huge telltale uh, marker for me as we try to figure out what type of weather we can be dealing with. To me, the way it looks right now, I'm going to say it's going to stay severe thunderstorm warning. But we'll have to watch that and babysit that here very carefully going forward. All right, 232 shares. Excellent news there. Appreciate that. Rain overnight tonight, Justin, Highlands, Florida. I'm assuming you're talking about. Tomorrow looks good, breezy and cooler, by the way. Let's see here. Roberto, give me the 1 minute warning and I'll flip on over there. Okay, there. 240 out. There's that tornado warning the young lady was just referring to. I love how informed our folks are here. Very, very impressive. Ginger Snap, stay safe. There's that line of storms. A couple showers here over central and eastern Orange and Osceola counties. No big deal there. Behaving itself. When we take a look, I'm going to go ahead and stop this just for a second here and take a look at the Tampa Bay Velocity product. Kind of see what's going on. So there does look like there may be a little bit of, this is far away from the radar, but there's a little something interesting there. Big cluster of lightning there, but not seeing any spin. So just something to watch as this approaches us here a little bit later on. All right, I'm going to keep this on the radar. I am going to jump back over here, but I need to do a cut in here, and then I'll come back and finish that thought here in just a second. So you guys hang tight. Try to go 60. All right, I'm trying to go much more than that. Are you gonna have these stick-up banners on your bracket? I don't. Is it not? No, I don't think I don't think I will on this one. All right, I'm gonna just try to put that. Keep a little taller.
1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute out. Facebook Live people. Multitasking, live on TV, live on Facebook.
Hey.
Roberto Lodi! Oh, severe thunderstorm warning just came in now along the coast, getting closer and closer to Marion County.
30 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Marion County first. 20.
20 it is.
In seconds, my friend.
Who knows?
4, 3, 2.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Tony Knopf. Just wanted to give you an update now. That line of thunderstorms, very impressive looking right now. First severe thunderstorm warning now, due west of Marion County, likely to be about 2 hours out now from entering into Marion County. Line holding together pretty good. We've got a couple showers now developing out ahead of that main line, but the initial line is going to give way to this long line of thunderstorms, and likely will carry severe thunderstorm warnings along it as it continues to move through central Florida from 10 to 11, from 11 to 12 down the lane, downtown Orlando, over towards Winter Haven, the city. As we jump ahead to about 1 o'clock in the morning, New Smyrna Beach, over towards Bidwell, Avalon Park, St. Cloud, and then moving offshore by about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then in the wake of it, out through tomorrow morning, we're going to be in very, very good shape here. Coming up a little later on, we'll give you county by county information. Of course, we'll keep you posted on any warnings that come ashore with that line of storms.
Oh, geez.
All right. Let's see what county is closest to me that's working. Weather radio issue. Okay. Um, you're probably gonna have to use Orlando's, Francis. Um, yeah, I would try Orlando's there for you. That would be the best thing to do. Try Orlando, and then we'll go from there. The other thing too is if you have the West 2 app, if you go to the West 2 app, okay, I want to make sure you guys are clear. I'm gonna show you this if I can. Hopefully it's not. Let's see here. News. So when you go to the West 2 app, I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Let me go ahead and switch it on over here. Full screen. Check 54321. All right, so you go here, and then you go to the settings, and then you go to the weather portion of it. There's weather, and then make sure your county, your appropriate county, is in there. So that's what you want to do there. And you want to make sure it's on all the time in your settings in here. Go into here, you go to West 2 News, and then you want to make sure it's on all the time, not just when you're using it. A lot of people make that mistake. They think, okay, I've got the West 2 app, I'm good to go. But you literally have to go into the settings, into that app, and make sure that the badges are on all the time, not just when you're using the app. That's the mistake a lot of people make. You want to have backup. So you have the weather radio, you have the phone, just a couple of things to have at your disposal when we're talking about severe weather potentially coming on in. All right, let me switch it back here real quick. Next cut-in is going to be at 8:14 in about 15 minutes. At that juncture, I will jump on off and get ready to make some updates here for everybody for the 9-10 o'clock time frame, as these storms are going to be getting awfully close to Central Florida. Now, let me do this here for you real quick. I'm going to take a look at Melbourne. One of the things I do want to do here is take a look at, let's take a look at the, let's do this. See how tall these thunderstorms are. I'm going to zoom it in. I want to see what the height of the storms are a little bit farther to the north. So they were running 30, now they're about 25,000 feet. So that could still produce some pretty significant wind over our way. So we're going to continue to watch that. Let me see here. We got that up there. I want to see how quick these storms are moving. Let's see here. Let's see. Boom. All right, severe thunderstorm warning. All right, storms are moving northeast. Wow, they're moving northeast at 70 miles an hour along that line. So storms along that line are moving northeast at 70 miles. That is just insane how quick these storms are moving. It doesn't give you a whole lot of time to prepare, but that's a good piece of information right there. Storm movement is incredibly fast. Some good news to report now from the Storms Prediction Center, and that is that the numerous has been downgraded to slight risk. That's new information coming down just a couple minutes ago when I was on the air. You can see the orange, the numerous severe storms have been downgraded to scattered severe storms, and that's what we were referring to. There still is a tornado watch in effect for all of Central Florida. Now, with the new update here, let's go ahead and take a look here real quickly to see what the tornado chances are. Those have not changed. 5% north and west of Orlando, 2% south and east. Damaging wind has not changed either. Not surprised by that. That's kind of what I was anticipating and expecting. Sue, appreciate you sharing. We move quickly here at WESH. We don't have time to lollygag and fool around. We got to get in and we've got to get out fairly quickly. Let me do one thing here real quick. I'm going to set something up for this next weather hit and get folks ready for that. Boom, boom. Let's see here. So it'll be right there. Just give me 1 second, folks, as I'm getting my next weather hit set up for 8:15. There's that. Got that. All right, there we go. Excellent. So that's all set up. So again, no changes to the thinking for Central Florida. The changes came in up north. No more enhanced risk for severe weather. It's more just slight risk area-wide. So there you go. That's kind of what we're thinking right there. Now, when you take a look at the Category 2, it means you're expecting winds of 58 miles an hour or stronger, isolated tornadoes, a large hail also possible with these storms. Brad Hughes, yes. I am in, I am out, I am quick, I am back. And there you have it. Marion, Lake, Sumter counties, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. 9 p.m. To 1 a.m. Straight line damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, frequent lightning, brief heavy rain. Stephanie Hall watching the low clouds form over Orange City. They are. They're moving incredibly quick. In fact, for that severe thunderstorm warning, storms along that squall line were moving at 70 miles an hour. That is going to produce a significant amount of wind once that comes over land, and that's one of the things that we are going to watch very carefully. Watching from St. Augustine, Sue Van Fleet. Any relationship to Jim Van Fleet, by the way? Nice picture there. Love that picture of looks like a ship, I think. There we go. I-4 corridor, Palm Coast, Daytona Beach, DeLand, Sanford, Orlando, Kissimmee, and Kenansville. Impact time just a little bit later, from 11 to about 3. Biggest concern here, straight line damaging winds. Other concerns, isolated tornadoes, frequent lightning, and brief heavy rain. Tony Minorio died this evening. Can you suggest that? Billy, I use the West 2 app that always works. I used to have a NOAA Weather Radio app, so I would do a search on the App Store for an Android. Let me see here real quick. NOAA Weather Radio. It's called NOAA Weather Radio Live. You can download that app. It gives you actually NOAA. That's $5 though. That's not free. Let's see. NOAA Weather Radio. Try NOAA Weather Radio Live. That's Weather Radar. NOAA Weather Radio Plus. Do the search for the NOAA Weather Radio. There's a whole bunch of them in there. I have a couple of weather radios, so I don't know whether. Oh, Stephanie Hall has it. She swears by it. She looks smart, so go with that. Kenneth Otto. Yeah, yep, Ken, we know that. That's a story we ran today. Let me see something here. Let me see if I can find a different frequency. I can't remember the frequencies offhand. All right. Do 162.475, Kenneth Otto. Try 162.475. Try that, guys. 162.475. That is the weather radio in Orlando. Up in Flagler County, Palatka is, let's see here, 162.425. So if you're up in Palm Coast, try that one, Palatka. There you go. Karvika Patel. Good evening. Windermere, very windy. Thank you. I'm working on it. I use WeatherBug too, Diane. Stay safe. All right, I've got a couple minutes. I've got about 4 minutes before my next cut-in. So here's a look now at Brevard County, Kissimmee, Kenansville, Titusville, Melbourne. Severe impacts from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Straight line damaging winds. Again, here too, isolated tornadoes, frequent lightning. That's what we're going to watch. Yeah, Billy Tyson. Yeah, go with the NOAA Weather Radio. The app. It's called NOAA Weather Radio. A couple people in here use it and they love it. I'm not sure if you saw some of those comments going by just a couple of minutes ago. The Daytona antenna is down. So if you're in Daytona, use the Palatka, P-A-T-L-A-K-A, frequency. That is 162.465, 162.465 for Palatka. There you go. So yeah, that's what I would use. What time can Winter Parks do? Chris, you're already feeling the effects with the wind, but the main line is going to be right around midnight tonight. Right on. Yes, 550 is Melbourne. Melbourne is 162.550. Mike, you're right. There you go. So that's a good-looking line of storms right there. Mike Justice, St. Cloud High, 29. Billy Tyson. I tell you what, we got some good people here. Not only are they sharing is caring, but they share knowledge and love for folks that pop on in, and that's why we love you guys. A good group. Guys are looking out for each other, and that's what it is all about. So good stuff right there. Robert Liana. Lightning is going to be high right along the squall line. Mike Johnson, I was just going to print that out, but you beat that to me. 550 is Melbourne. 400. 400's good. 475 is good. That would be Orlando. 450 is good. Yep. There you go. Ocala, maybe big wins. Eleanor Mills, absolutely. That's going to be the big concern. There we go. That's what we got for sure. Absolutely. So that line of storms, less than 2 minutes. Thank you, Brian. All right. This is a hard 30-second out. That's correct. All right. I am going to go and do another quick cut in here. Let me put this on the Tampa Bay radar. I'm going to do a cut in for 8:14. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to go to 8:30. Then I need to get ready for the evening show. So look at all those warnings now to the west of Marion County. It's all filling in. It's all filling in. It's going to work right over Central Florida from west to east from 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, and even 2 o'clock in the morning. So that's what we're going to be watching again very, very carefully as that gets closer and closer to Central Florida. So that's what we're doing right now. All right, let me hit to the key and be right back. Don't you guys go anywhere.
Woo! 1 minute.
1 minute?
1 minute.
Quick little update. Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. My Facebook friends got me a quick little update here.
Thirty seconds. Winnie. 10 seconds. Stand by. 4, 3, 2.
All right, with this rescue weather update, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. Big line of storms, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings on it, and storms are moving quickly to the north and east at 70 miles an hour along that squall line. As that squall line moves inland, we're going to see some strong damaging winds here across Central Florida. 10, 11 o'clock, right through Marion County from 11 to 12, up and down I-4, maybe as late as 12:31, and then shooting on the coast here between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Keep you posted all night long. Thank you. All right, gang, I am back. We are free for 45 minutes from live TV. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you. Appreciate that, my man. All right, I am going to grab me some sugar, folks. Some sugar. I'm going to power. They're telling me to power down my mic right now. It's going to do that. Crisscross, you are most welcome for these updates. We do them because we know how important it is for you folks at home to stay up to date with what's going on. So that's why we do these. All right, let's stop the radar. Let's kind of go ahead and poke and pry in here and see if we can see anything that deems spin or rotation or anything like that. A little ball of energy right in there. But that is moving that way. So we'll watch that for Cedar Key. This part in here, for the most part, is behaving. Let's zoom in even closer. Some decent wind Let's see if we can get some wind readings. 34, 28, 35. So that's kind of what we're looking at right there for the time being. So that's what's going on right now with that. Grab a little bite of this. Mm-hmm. And we have a tornado watch in effect through midnight. Line of storms has been growing and intensifying all afternoon. Looking really good here, but it is moving quickly. Let me check something here real quick. 41-mile-an-hour wind gust. Just reported Orlando's International Airport, folks. All right, let me see one thing here real quick. Yeah. All right. Status quo on that. All right, so 41-mile-an-hour wind gust over at the Orlando International Airport right there. Pretty impressive. All right. Let's do this. Stop that. This line of storms is now 70 miles to the west and closing in. 70 miles. There you have it, folks. There you go. Yes, I had what I had? I had turkey, chicken, and rice. It was good. Very good. Thanks for asking. And now having a candy bar. Yes, I am. A little sugar push. All right, so again, the key here, we did have a tornado warning up here earlier. Now it's just severe thunderstorm warnings. As this approaches land here, look for severe thunderstorm warnings to be issued, and then that will sweep across. And that's what we'll be watching here as we get deeper into the evening. Winnie Bradford, 20 minutes off, you got you? I hear you, Billy, but better now than the weekend, right? Or Friday night. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Nothing changed on that. So there you go. Here's our local radar, Westers radar. See a few showers have popped up, nothing more than that, thankfully. And then, there we go. Carla Jean. Yes, I do have socks on. Nothing fancy. Nice and brown. All right, so let's take a look at the timing of these storms for those of you that have just popped in. Again, I appreciate you guys popping in and saying hi. We'll give you the Futurecast. If you are just getting in, you know my motto, sharing is caring. The more people that we can reach by you sharing these Facebook Live feeds. Joe Miller, good to have you. Robert Leanna, there's a lot of lightning. That's correct. Nicole Karnetsky, there you go. Let's see. Look at the storms. 10:30 through Ocala, the villages. Boom. And feel free to message me tonight with your weather reports as the line's coming on through. I want to know if you had any wind damage or anything like that. Thanks for the update, Tony. Says Cynthia Vallejo. Appreciate you, Cynthia. Thank you, as always, for popping on in and saying hi, as you do. Let's go ahead a little bit more in time. 12:31, 1:32. Strong damaging winds. Look at that right there. Oof. Now, if you missed it, crane came down, scaffolding came down earlier. Daniela Caraballo. I'm going to Caraballo. There it is. Daniela Caraballo. DC. Good to have you, DC. Watching from the villages. Eric Hunter, appreciate you, sir. Thank you for checking in, getting the weather know. Look at that line of storms. 1 o'clock in the morning. Dang. Blowing through Bithlow, Wedgefield, Christmas, Sanford, Geneva, Mims, Scottsmore, just pounding down. Janice, just doing my job. Long time no talk. Thanks for always updating us. Mallory Martino, you're welcome. North Davenport, love you down there, Miss Shreve. Yuli Albanides, hola. Morning is good in Ocala. Joanne Clendon saying happy anniversary to you, Billy. There's the line of storms pulling offshore. Now, tomorrow, breezy and cooler. Not that bad. Eric, if it's going to happen, it's going to be right in that line. Then you're going to be okay. Joe Hernandez, sounds good. So there you have it. Let's go county by county here real quick, give you guys those local impacts. And you can see there's Ocala, Leesburg, Bushnell, Claremont. Tree down on the power line near, where's this? Okay, so we got a tree down on the power line. Let's see here. Ninth Avenue Main Street in Windermere. Time is estimated. All right, let me call the desk on that and see if they know about this. All right, let's see here. Hey, real quick. So I'm getting reports of a downed tree on a power line near the intersection of 9th Avenue and Main Street in Windermere.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you want to check that out, if it's...
Yeah, hang on 1 second. I got several working fires going on.
Oh,
So what
okay.
was that?
Yeah, so it's power line down with a tree at the intersection of 9th Avenue and Main Street in Windermere.
Okay, I'll check it out.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. See you. Yeah, just relaying some information down there for our friends in Windermere. Yuli Ablanides, Ed Stapleton. How much rain expect? Not much, River Parker. Half inch, maybe a little bit more, not much either side of a half an inch. Dog, good to have you. Been bouncing around in that wind today for sure. Oh, nice. Okay, bunches of messages. Let's see. All right. Oh, just kind of cleaned a lot of folks. All right, impacts for I-4. Here we go. Yashira Rodriguez, Yashi, flying out to Puerto Rico. You're fine. A little windy, but you'll be the worst of it will be east of you. Tiffany DeHart, good to have you. Dawn Braverman, Winter Springs. Yep. There you go. There's your impacts coming up here for folks along I-4. So Palm Coast, Daytona Beach, Sanford, Orlando, Kissimmee. There's a look at what we're expecting. Now, as you can see, very good chance for some strong damaging winds as this storm system continues to race on across. That's going to be one of the things that we're going to be watching. Tiffany DeHart, good to have you in here. Thanks for popping in. Vicky Lutz Viscomi, how do we let you know if I sustained damage? Just you can go ahead and post it on this Facebook Live entry. What happens is when I'm done with live, it lives there, and then you can add comments to that Facebook Live. It'll say I was active, and you just go in there, or you can email me at this email address, tmanalfi@hearst.com, for any damage. For any damage reports in your area. How about that? There we go. Sorry about that. The uppercase, lowercase thing. I hit the button by accident. You got it. Just like I said, just doing my job, trying to keep you guys safe, up to speed with what's going on. There's the impacts for Brevard, Central and Eastern Osceola County, right there. You can see impact time is just a little bit later, but the same. Pearson, strong damaging winds. Will I get what? The worst of it's going to be over, Scott. I think it's going to be east of us by then. Vicky, you're welcome. John, great question. We're going back and forth between the impacts county by county. You guys do like those graphics, right? We've gotten tremendously positive feedback about those county by county impact graphics, threats, concerns. Uh, there's the radar. We're using the Tampa Bay radar right now. And the reason for that is it's the radar that's closest to the line of severe storms. We can use Jacksonville to peg the northern parts. You can see how the line shows up real nicely. Look at all that lighting. That is tremendous. That is a tremendous amount of lighting. So right now, we have roughly 300 lightning strikes in the last 15 to 20 minutes. So that's Jacksonville. And then when we switch it on over to Tampa Bay, you can see how it does better on the central and southern extent of that line. So that's why we go back and forth. Scotty, you're welcome. Paisley, nice showers and storms developing here overnight tonight. There's a look at Ocala, the villages. This line of storms along the line are moving northeastward along that line. And get this, 70 miles an hour, folks, 70. There you go. John loves the county by county. Love the breakdown, says Carla. You're welcome. Thank you, Janice Hepburns. She says, yes, looking good. Again, if you're just popping in and you haven't shared the Facebook Live feed, again, we're trying to get the word out to as many people as possible on the weather that's coming in tonight. There's a look now at the showers. Is that a little lightning strike? No, I thought it was. Let me see. No lightning, but a decent shower that has popped up there. So there you have it. There you go. That's a look at the. So if I do this, and then I do this, let's see. Why is that not working? All right, there we go. Let's see. 522 lightning strikes there in the last 20 minutes across Central Florida. Very windy area-wide. That's a very good observation. It's been windy all day. In fact, we take a look at the recent wind speed sustained, not the gusts. South-southwest, 15 to 25. Wind gust at the top of the hour. Elliot Aquino, you're very windy in West Orlando. Yes, it is. Sarah Keene, good to have you. The weather radios are working. It's the transmitter in Daytona that's down. If you're in Orlando, you're good. But if you're up in Flagler County, you're going to want to switch it over to Palaca's frequency, and that is, I looked it up. Okay, so Palaca's 162.425. So there you go. Hold on, good. There you go. You spawn. There you go, Bill. Love that. Let me pull in. There you go. Polk County. So what I forgot to do in my haste today was just add Polk County to this guy right here. There's really no difference. Polk County is the same as Claremont. Arrival time, you're on the back end of that time, close to 1 o'clock. Tiffany, good to have you. Sienna Shreve, good to have you. So for Polk County, there you have it. Straight line damaging winds, isolated tornadoes. Again, the risk for you there's about 5%. Low, but there. Cocoa is good for now, but that could change a little bit later on. So there you go. All right, I am going to wrap it up with a positive note here because I got to get ready for my next cut in here and then for the 9 o'clock newscast here. Make some updates, 10 o'clock rather, for the CW18 and West News. So Friday, 68. Saturday, 71. Sunday, 76. Great looking weekend weather. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Back into the 80s as the boys of summer coming into town. Lori, Cocoa, a lot of wind there, Lori. So we're going to have to watch that there for you. Likely to have some severe thunderstorm warnings for potential for wind damage. Ruthie Morshett Rivera, you have a great night. Michelle, right now, it's a low-end concern for me, very low. Obviously, if we have tornado warnings starting to come out along the West Coast, I would immediately call your parents that live in a mobile home in Castleberry to tell them to maybe head over to your place. Lori Marie, good to have you. Joanne Combs Tucker, you're welcome. All right, so that's a look there at the 7-day forecast. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Got to make some updates here and keep an eye on a few things. But great group, great questions. I'm glad to hear that this is helping you guys out. Be back on the air at 9 o'clock with a weather update. 9:54 with another weather update. And 10 o'clock, we're on the air on the CW18. So you guys have a wonderful night. Take care, and I'll be back on Facebook Live tomorrow night, normal time, at 8 o'clock. See you guys then.